I'm Matilda Roslin from the Department of Biotechnology. I'm here to deliver a lecture on DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting was developed by a British geneticist named Professor Alec Jeffrey at the University of Leicester in 1984. He was able to help out police investigations, paternal and diagnostic disputes. Although 99.9% of human DNA sequences are the same, 0.1% of DNA is different to distinguish one individual from another, unless they are monozygotic twins. DNA fingerprinting uses repetitive sequences that are highly variable called variable number tandem repeats, which are particularly short tandem repeats. To speak about VNTRs, the analysis of VNTRs to detect the degree of relatedness to another sequence of oligonucleotides, making them ideal for DNA fingerprinting. What are VNTRs? A variable number tandem repeat. It is a location in a genome where a short nucleotide sequence is organized as a tandem repeat. These can be found in many chromosomes and often show variations in length between individuals. Each variant acts as an inherited allele, allowing them to be used for a personal or parental identification. Now to speak about the exact process, DNA fingerprinting begins with a sample of individual's DNA, typically called as a reference sample. When I say reference sample, what does that mean? This sample can be collected from samples of blood, saliva, semen or other appropriate fluids or tissues from personal items like toothbrush, razor, etc., or from stored samples like biopsy tissue. Let me share with you what are the steps involved. Usually, DNA must be extracted from the collected samples from like cells or tissues of the body using different procedures. When I say reference samples, only a small amount of the sample is needed to isolate DNA. Suppose if there is no sufficient amount of DNA, PCR can be used to amplify the required amount of copies. The second process is restriction digestion. There are special enzymes called restriction endonucleases which are used to cut the DNA at specific base sequences. Hence, many restricted DNA fragments are obtained as a result of restriction digestion. The next process involved is gel electrophoresis. Now, when I say gel electrophoresis, these DNA fragments that we have collected as a result of restriction endonucleases, they were separated according to the size by a process called gel electrophoresis. What do we do? The DNA was loaded into wells at one end of a porous gel which acts like a sieve. Second thing is an electric current was applied which pulled the negatively charged DNA through the gel. The shorter pieces of DNA moved through the gel easiest and therefore fastest. It is more difficult for the longer pieces of DNA to move through the gel, so they travel very slowly. Southern blotting, that is the next step after gel electrophoresis is done. What is southern blotting? The transfer of DNA on a nylon or a nitrocellulose membrane. The DNA fragments are transferred to a nylon sheet on a gel and soaking them overnight by the process called southern blotting. After southern blotting, where the DNAs are transferred from the gel to a nitrocellulose membrane, you need to add radioactive or colored probes to the nylon membrane, which is complementary to target sequences. Each probe only sticks to one or two bases on the membrane. This is called as probing. After probing, hybridization is done to where the labeled probe DNA should be hybridized with the complementary sequences located on nylon membrane for the detection of position later. The membrane should be washed to remove non-specific binding. Right after hybridization, the bands and the banding patterns are interpreted. How are they done? Analysis of band patterns of different individuals. Later they are compared, their position and their bands are compared. Next, for this, computer software are also available for the analysis of DNA fingerprints. This is the overall picture and the steps involved. To put it very easy, first, extraction of DNA is done. Second, from the extracted DNA, restriction enzymes are applied to the extracted DNA, where they will be cut into small fragments. These small fragments are grouped together through a process of electrophoresis, right after which they are transferred to a nitrocellulose membrane through a process called as blotting, after which probing is done. Finally, they are interpreted through X-ray audiography. Finally, a pattern of the DNA is compared with those of the victim and the suspect. So this work makes the police investigation easy. Now, what can be the applications of DNA fingerprinting? It solves paternity and maternity disputes, criminal and forensic identification, personal identification, developing cures for inherited disorders, considerations when evaluating inherited disorders. I would like to give you an information that through DNA fingerprinting, the first culprit, called Colin Pitchfork, was the first person to be identified through DNA fingerprinting because he raped and murdered 2 girls. With this, I conclude my lecture that we also have a CDFD here in Hyderabad called the Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnosis, which was started by Indian father of DNA fingerprinting called as Lalji Singh. Thank you.